about being born on the prairies. You learn not to breathe deep in winter, so your nostrils don't stick like a fence post to a tongue. You lie flat on your back in the brown-tipped grass. Watch blue meringue roll in, stacked to gunship nimbus in the northwest sky. You sense the ozone hush, the hairs on your arms trained to read the signs, anticipate the flash and rumble. You ripen to the smell of black earth. Magpies swoop along the graveled road. Their long tails flick in the slanted sun. A flock circles the eastern field, feeds on an ailing calf, one deadened peck at a time. On the prairies, you travel with eyes fixed on the vanishing point. It recedes and recedes until the day it doesn't. Thank you so much for that amazing introduction. Thank you. And Rona and Rod, for everything that you do at Tree and for inviting me to be part of it tonight with Suzanne and Dean. And thanks to all of you for coming. It's great to see all these faces. Tonight I'll be reading a selection of poems that have been published over the last couple of years and some new pieces that I've been working on this summer. Forecasting what came before. Were you listening when I told you of my empty myth? There are words between the spaces, promises exchanged under a bruised sky. I'm gathering mists in the folds of my blue dress. I dream of sacred runes, of the last place we first met. Your hands glazed with marble dust, statues outside time. Perseids flare across the moon. We run our tongues along the crescent's silver edge. Caravans have crossed the sands in search of far, far less. We emerge from the singularity. This is what happens. Particles collide. I count drops of water. Wait for the rain. Fine line between the signal and the fact. A patient invitation. The texture of the world grows thin. Your stand of black umbrellas offers shelter from the wind. Falling is a means of locomotion. Vertiginous bloom. Velvet-tunneled calla lily, lips so smack of aniseed-flavored breath of one another, stemmed as if binding can redeem the funnel's core. Nine lines for L. Cohen. Lovers, for a second, glanced by your pen in a cadence of fragrance of seaweed and heat. We measured our shots by fingers, held. In the end, came up short of excuses and breath. I don't know if this has happened to any of you who write, but I keep a small notepad by the bed just in case an idea or a line pops into my head when I'm trying to fall asleep. And a couple of months ago I woke up in the morning to find the top page just covered in scrawls. And it was barely legible, but it was definitely my handwriting, and this is what it said. They will arrive by stealth. Sated children lick salt from their lips, and the stores will not fit in the cupboard. A gathering. The passageways must be cleared of old newspapers and open jars. Strangers asking for direction are given none. The pocket knife, hidden in the flower pot, its blade covered with a dry leaf. This might be what saves us. Secure the windows facing the square, cots on the floor tight against the wall. The next two pieces fall under the general category of breakup fiction. So. Pas de deux. Days spent choreographing lies, hard-toed and stiff-shanked. Floorboards creak under shifting spins and pliés. We lean into each other, opposing walls, exposed struts and beams. Variation 1. He reaches into empty. Variation 2. She empties into reach. Velvet twist. Peacock feathered sabotage. Decorations hard weight. An off-menu entree undressed on the side. The pluck in your voice rubs an ache wired to flare. What's held back splits the final check in two. A rain falls twice without the pull of words. This next piece is written in sonnet form, but without end rhymes. Leavings. The photograph lies. You were never so still. Light behind the morning curtain calls me from my dream. In it, you eat black figs while I play badly, a cracked mandolin. Behind the tattered flaps of canvas tents, sun-baked warriors raise a glass to the dead. Burrowed in a nearby wind-stripped hollow, the rhythmic whir of insects fills the air. A single blue cup drips, dries upside down, under currents spun by the kitchen fan. A white cotton towel, in surrender, slips from my hand onto the unswept floor. Gathered in the folds of its unfurling, dry breadcrumbs mixed with fine ground flecks of sand. The next thing I'm going to read is an incantation style poem, and it essentially wrote itself while I was sitting quietly on a deck overlooking Lac de l'Argile this summer. Now there is only the now, and a wave laps in the now. There's a wing and a bird, and the wing of the bird clips the edge of the now. And the lap of the wave is still, and the flap of the bird is gone, and the slip of the now is collapsing the all, and a stillness fills the whole. And now there is no I, and the I that was all is not. And all that is seen is not with the eye, and now the eye sees none, but the one at the lapse of the now. And now, still now, now still. I'd like to end with a selection of excerpts, about 4 minutes or so, from a new, longer poem that's set at a cottage. A new relationship begins as another one ends. Excuse me. When she left, after hard choices made, histories de-anchored, gold bands ceremonially tossed in the falls, I imagined she imagined we'd sail free, but the beginning lies in an ending's wake. The waters roiled. What's left or can't be left behind? The arrhythmia carried, not fatal, but a permanent flaw of the heart. In my dreams, she cuts through the waves with Olympian sureness and strength. I fumble along the shore. In the North Bay, recently thawed, a pencil-sized pike suspended alongside a sunken log. Soon it will stir, a forward-thrust muscle of self-preservation. We reanimate more slowly, each unhinging movement a new jolt of ache. Pinned by a dented brass tack, last year's calendar still mounts the wall, kept for its pictures of Audubon songbirds, so I say. This year's is hung loosely on top. August displays a black and white flight of the Sherian stairs. I measure her distance by sedimentary layers of tiles of days. The forest breathes north for 1,000 miles, a slow, deep exhale of patient resuscitation. We fill our lungs, saturate each pulse. The blue heron stands watchful, still, as drizzle pincushions the shoal, the elegance of solitude. A reedy leg takes a single step, a brush stroke across an inkwash scroll. Once, she offered me a gift. The origami wizard sits enfolded on the shelf, a conjurer of innocence or guilt. Is it different with love, or like crime? Does lack of intent negate the offense? Raise ipsiloquitur. The facts may speak for themselves, but reveal so little of what we recognize as true. The lake's shape and depth suggest a meteoric birth, an end to all that lived in that random, shattered ring. But events are always measured by when you stand in time. Tonight, we watch a saucy moon jig in the crater's pool. Thank you very much, and thanks so much for being here.